Hello guys, and welcome back to another episode of Sore Subjects. Today we're going to be discussing a subject that was brought to us by one of our beloved subscribers under the name of Simon Doyle, and he wants us to talk about paranormal, so paranormal experiences. So I think to get this started, does anyone around the table have a paranormal experience you want to share?
Kane does.
Yeah, no, I mean...
Kane does love sharing.
Obviously, no, we've obviously spoken about it, but I've never told you guys, but when I was younger, I had an experience...
A ghost touched you.
A ghost...
We're sticking to paranormal, yeah?
Yeah. No.
An experience.
So I had... Basically, my nan had just died. My nan had just died.
Okay.
So I'm laughing at my nan dying. Right, so anyway, my nan had just died. And my auntie and my dad were having an argument downstairs about sort of funeral arrangements. Anyway, I'd woke up, and as I woke up, my cousin had come up the stairs because my auntie had sent her upstairs to get her stuff and leave because they'd had a row. So she ran up the stairs, I woke up. Now where I was in a bed from here, and the doorway is just in front of me. She's ran up, gone past into the room here. So you've got a room here, and a room there, right? As she's ran past, I've seen this slim figure, right, reach over, and this is God's honest truth, right? I've seen a slim figure reach over, go to grab, and then come back, and it had like a long black and white polka dot dress on, right? It's no word of a lie. Now, I shouted downstairs, I went, Dad, I've just seen a ghost, right? Because they were all rowing, they said, yeah, whatever, go to sleep. Anyway, it all calmed down, it all settled down. They've then woke me up early in the morning, brought me downstairs and said, what did you say? What have you seen? And I said, I'd seen a ghost. Told them what I'd seen. Anyway, turns out that they were planning to bury my nan in a black, white polka dot dress. Okay. So that, for me, I mean, I don't know, but I do remember seeing that.
Yeah.
I remember seeing.
How old were you
that?
at the time?
I was probably about 7. Okay. I remember being in the room, and April ran past the doorway, and I remember seeing this sort of womanly figure just reach over as if to grab her, as if to say, "Don't go in there." And that was my personal experience of the paranormal.
Yeah.
I have had. Go on. I've had a few.
No, that's an interesting one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the fact that she was buried in the black and white polka dot dress.
Yeah.
So, and then
I'm just trying to think of what other logical reasons could have caused you to see something like that. Whether it was a curtain blowing in the wind.
No, it's the door. It was a door frame. So it was here. We had a room here. My nan's room was there, where her bedroom was, and then here was my Uncle Dean and Auntie Sandy's room. Like that was their room, and then this was like the spare room. So I was here, and then you had the stairs that went down like that, and then down like that again.
Yeah.
So there was nothing there.
Nothing. Yeah.
There was nothing there. I don't know. I don't know if it was real or not. I remember seeing something.
Yeah.
That to this day, and I'll go to the grave with it. I saw it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Fair enough. What about anyone else?
Dave, any?
I don't, not that I can remember anyway, I don't think I've actually seen anything, but I've certainly like been places where you feel like the energy change in a place, or like the temperature drops unexpectedly, and things like that. I've had that a few times. Yeah, it's fascinating. I mean, obviously it's difficult to sort of prove what you've seen in a certain experience, because it really is just your word.
It's my word. That's the thing. So it's like it can be bullshit. Do you know what I mean? It's all a lie. Yeah. Nick, you like to do fucking hoaxes with your aliens. And
have you got any made-up stories, Nick?
No. Well, no, not on this subject. But I do have one story that is frightening as fuck. Right, and this goes back to when we're
Does it involve your nan?
No.
Not like mine.
No, it goes back to when we were back at sort of primary school. We used to go night fishing. I went night fishing with my dad, my brother, and one of my mates. And it was on the Waterloo-on-Thames. So we're along on the riverside, and we're on this bay, and then there's like a bunch of trees and a sort of bush separating us from the next bay. So now it's got pitch black. We're fishing, and then all of a sudden we just heard this voice coming to the left of us. And we looked over, and there was this black figure of a woman standing sort of as if she was right in front of the bay next to us. So it was a little bit of a way, but she was out of the way of the bushes. So she was like in the same sort of level as us. And we were just like, what? Why is she standing there? Like, what's that person doing? Like, it's a middle of the night, and it's just a woman standing there. It's a bit freaky. So we sort of like, right, ignore it and just carry on fishing, chatting. And she just like an hour had gone past and she's still there. So obviously being young, me and my mates started, right, let's play a few games here. What's going on here? So we're like, hello, like, what are you doing? And there's no response. And like 5 seconds later, she starts calling out the name Frank, but in the most eeriest voice ever. It's like, Frank. We're like, that's weird. And then she would just turn her body facing the river, and she would run full pelt towards the river, and we're like, oh my god, she's got running, and then no splash. It was like, she could not stop. It's like, it's bad. There's not far.
What, so you saw, who was you with?
My mate, my brother, and my dad.
Just sounds
right?
like some lunatic.
So she kept doing that back and forward, and then we're like, this is fucked up. So anyway, she kept doing that, just speaking to someone called Frank, running up the river, but then moments later being there again. And then we thought, right, let's see if we can get her a bit closer so we can actually see what this woman looks like. So we pretended we caught a fish. And we're like, oh, we caught a fish, you got to come and see it, She started fucking speed walking towards us. We shit ourselves, and we're like, Dad! My dad's just jumped off the back of the chair, just gone, fuck off! Like that, and then she just stopped. And then she just started walking back.
So it was a real person then?
Well, I don't know.
It just sounds like some loony looking for Frank.
No, but it was strange because we couldn't, no matter how close, she got a little bit close, but there was no actual like facial features. It was just a black figure, and we could only hear her and see her moving. And then we got freaked out in the end. We went and slept in the car, and my dad just stayed there with his own fishing.
I'd have gone home. If you know, something like, well, I say that, I have had a few, well, not a few. My mum's told me of a few experiences she's had when I was younger and I was in the house. But there was one that I can remember. I'd been on like a 2-day bender, just drinking, whatever. And I was in the bed.
Just a normal weekend.
Just a normal weekend.
Was this when you were 7 years old as well?
No, this was about.
Lee Bank,
this was about 5-6 years ago. So I was, I had a bit of a hangover. I was in bed, and the door was shut. But like the doors that have got glass above them. So there was that, and this was in the day as well. So it went on the night time. This was in the day, which was scarier. So they had one of those glass things above it, and then underneath you could just sort of see the light that was coming under. And I was lying there, I was watching the telly, and then just in the corner of my eye, I just saw like a shadow walking, and I was like, oh no, I weren't. There's nothing there. And then I've looked and I've watched specifically, and there was literally footsteps going boom, 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 and they've walked past. I've shut up, I've got out of bed, I've ran, I've opened the door, there was nothing there. I through pure fear, I had to just get up and open the door.
Yeah.
I was shitting myself. I opened the door, absolutely nothing there. My ex at the time, she was like, what's wrong? I was like, there's something there. There was, I swear to God, there was something there. And that was in my house, in Blackpool. And that was, I don't know what that was, but even to this day, because it was a few years ago, I think about that sometimes. I'm like, I know I definitely saw something, because I seen it in the corner of my eye first, and then I looked and I waited to see it again, and then I seen it specifically go walking like footsteps just go. So I got up, pulled the door open, and there was nothing there. I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's eerie,
I shut it, and I was just like, fucking fight or flight mode kicked in. I was like, and that's, I mean, it's a different, there's the energy, isn't there? What is the paranormal?
Well, I'm glad that you said energy there, because that's what I choose to believe in. Like, I believe in energy, and I believe in, there could be trapped energy and things like that, which could well explain ghosts and things like that, because we're all made up of energy. That's scientifically proven.
Yeah.
So as far as like ghosts and all that kind of stuff. But I believe that it's actually just energy, whether that's positive or negative, trapped in one area. I don't think it's like a specific entity
Or
or
a
a
spirit,
person.
yeah.
I just believe it's the energy of that life form that used to be there.
Okay.
Have you never?
See, I think similar to you with like UFOs. I just think it's all bollocks.
Really? So,
Right, the only thing I can ever think of, and the thing is, I don't even know if it's when I was young. I remember being in bed, and I just woke up, and I had a desk in the middle of the room, just like the desk there. I woke up, and I saw like 4 people sat around the desk.
What?
Yeah, it's like there's
What,
4
people you didn't know?
No, it's like ghosts, like 4
Okay.
people like round the desk. But whether I was just half asleep or actually just dreaming,
do you
I don't
reckon
know.
it was how long ago was that?
That was fucking years.
Imagine if it was a premonition of you doing this podcast.
Warning me not to do it.
One of them was wearing a
Seen
hat.
the future. You woke up and seen the future.
But no, because I know I think in my house there was, I think the guy who lived there before did die there because he was like an old guy.
Still there now, no?
He's still there now. Still got the body in the in the spare room. That's the only thing I think of. But even then, I don't know if that was a dream.
The thing is, when I was like a teenager, I was fascinated by this kind of stuff, and I would like intentionally put myself in situations like graveyards, abandoned houses, and stuff like that. But I never actually saw anything definitive.
That's
like,
the thing.
Yeah.
Did you ever get scared though? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, but is that just your imagination just playing?
That's
tricks?
what.
But that's the thing. As much as I
isn't
say it's bollocks, I still wouldn't spend the night.
See,
in my
I'm more
house. Fuck
petrified.
that.
I'm more petrified of
That's how horror films start.
ghosts
Fuck that.
than UFO, like aliens, for example, extraterrestrials.
Really?
I'm happy to believe they exist. I don't actually want ghosts to exist because that freaks me out. Because
ghosts
it? Why?
I don't know.
Ghosts
I'm not
gonna
freaked
do?
out by extraterrestrial things. I'm freaked out by ghosts.
But why would you rather?
I think it's because if it does exist, if they do exist, then it's an actual, it's a human
But
spirit.
that should be a good thing because you know that there's
No,
something in the
but
afterlife. no?
humans can be fucked up. Some humans can be really fucked up, and I actually think I trust what's out there more than what could be on this planet.
About that.
Yeah, but
You think aliens can't
imagine
fuck up?
dead what's out there. Imagine a dead alien that's trapped spirit.
Alien ghosts.
Do you know what I mean?
Alien
Wow.
ghosts.
Alien ghosts. Do you know what
I
I mean?
don't think they're gonna
It's
film.
like one of those cheap budget films like Sharknado.
Yeah.
Alien ghosts.
Well, it depends, doesn't it? I mean,
Aliens versus
but
ghosts.
You've got to look at it as there's different types of energy. You've got your good energy. You've got like things like entities, which are they possess you. They can possess you. So and poltergeists, which possess the house. So they possess the house, but then you've got an entity which can possess you, and then you've got poltergeists which possess the house. So they're in the home. Do you know what I mean?
Well, speaking of poltergeists, so the most famous person
He's looked into it.
looked into it. One of the most famous people in that sort of sector is Lorraine Warren. So she's the real life character of like the films like Conjuring, Annabelle, for example. She's the person that's actually done these stories all written about.
Yeah.
So she's sort of an exorcist, medium, whatever you want to call her.
Bullshit.
And so she owns, so she's got the real Annabelle. So the film Annabelle, there's a real doll called Annabelle.
Yeah, they took it onto GMTV, didn't they?
Yeah. So it's led to believe that if you touch this doll or come into the presence of this doll, it will give you bad luck. There is a story, a guy that actually physically.
He's just thinking, where are you touching it?
Show me on the door where they touched you.
Oh god.
Go on.
No, but if you so there was this story of a guy who actually physically held the doll when he went to go and view it, put it down, rode his motorcycle home, crashed and died. There was another guy who done a documentary about Annabelle. He touched the doll and walking back to his car one evening, lightning, as soon as he was about to get in his car, the lightning struck down and hit his car.
Do you know, this is, The Exorcist, the film The Exorcist and The Omen, right? So the lad that was in The Omen, the first film, there was a scene in it where like the baboons attack or something like that. Do you know I think it was the day after that filmed or after it was filmed, like he got killed by a lion.
Yeah.
He got killed by a lion after filming The Omen.
This is when you search on Google.
Or
to
even
find out
film.
if it's not true.
The classic film.
So live now.
I don't know. And then there's the Exorcist. There was a guy on. There was 2 people on The Exorcist that were murdered. One of the guys actually worked on the set, and he killed someone.
Yeah.
And then I did see on Google that there was 2 women in the film that severely hurt their back, but it was in the filming of it that where she gets thrown against the wall.
Oh, yeah, I know about this.
And she breaks her, her back. So like when she's screaming in that scene, that's like real pain.
Yeah.
Well, there's also the whole thing of, is it Macbeth? Where you're not allowed to say... Is it Macbeth?
Yeah, that's before you go on stage.
Yeah, you're not allowed to say Macbeth because people have...
Yeah,
well, there's the myth that...
Yeah, you don't say Macbeth before you... If you go backstage, if you say the word Macbeth, even doing the play... I know this because I used to do theatre. But yeah...
I know you're here.
I don't even know. I used to be an actor.
But the classic film, Poltergeist, the first one.
Yeah.
That little girl, she died shortly after filming the film, and there's been a load of conspiracies about how that happened. We won't get too far into that. But yeah, another
straight up non-believer.
She died, right?
Straight up non-believer.
So one of the
she stubbed her toe.
So one of the Conjuring films, I believe it's the second one, which was the Enfield Haunting.
Yeah.
The what?
Enfield Haunting.
Enfield.
The Enfield what?
Haunting. There you go.
Oh god. It's always the bloody English lesson.
Every episode there's a word that you can't say.
Well,
Enfield Haunting.
Haunted.
Haunting.
Right.
Fuck off, Nick.
All right, I tell you what, I'll call it the Enfield Poltergeist. Okay. Which is actually the real name.
Hang on a minute.
Yeah.
We need to establish that we've been doing an episode on paranormal, and you've come in and said the Enfield Haunting.
Haunting. I still can't even hear the difference. Haunting.
That's better.
Right, let's move on. Right.
It's not a haunted house, is
Haunted.
it?
Right. So that film was made.
Wait.
That film was made by a true story, which was called The Enfield Poltergeist. Right.
Okay.
So this is the film where it's actually about an old man possessing this house, and he voices through a little girl. Right. So this is it's about. So the true story is it happened between the years 1977 and 1979, involving 2 sisters, 11 and 13.
Yeah.
Some people believe it to be, the haunting to be genuine, while others believe it to be, completely fake. 2 young girls just making it up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, the Enfield Haunting. Yeah. Sorry, I thought it was about.
So basically, in 1977, single parent Peggy Hodgson called the police and reported about her rented home in Enfield, which is a council home. Can't remember the name of the town now, but so basically, she was claiming that furniture was moving around. 4 children had been hearing knocking sounds. Things had been floating, that kind of thing. So basically, I've got a couple of videos here to show you of the girls being interviewed, and just see what your thoughts are.
Oh, no.
And do you get the feeling when you hear the voice that there is a person there?
Yes.
Yeah. I wonder, do you think there's anyone there just now?
Yeah, I do.
Who's that?
What?
Who's that, Janet?
Pardon? Stuart Certain.
Stuart Certain, and he's one of the voices.
The thing is, there's nothing in that video that proves to me that anything. What? It's just a girl going.
Yeah.
That's all it is, literally.
I do get that, and there's
That's all
part of
I
me
get
that
for
looks
that.
at that and think. Was it 12? Was it
No, if she started
11
floating in the fucking middle of the room, I'd be like, all right.
Yeah.
fair
Well,
enough.
this is the thing. So those comments were also made, and witnesses say that they saw that as well. And the actual police on BBC News also reported witnessing these events. So I've got another video here to show you of the police's statement. So.
Either. They were even more baffled when 2 of their beat constables reported seeing an armchair levitate across the Hodgsons' living room.
It came off the floor, or nearly a half-inch, I should say. And I saw it slide off to the right, about 3.5 to 4 feet before it came to rest. I checked to see whether or not it could possibly have slid along the floor. I placed a marble on the floor to see whether or not the marble would go in the same direction as the chair did, and it didn't roll at all. I checked for wires under the cushion of the chair, and I could find no explanation at all.
But where was this broadcast?
This is on BBC. You know about the BBC.
I know about the BBC, yeah. Can't say anything bad about them.
So yeah, so that's the thing. So I do get it. You know, those voices and things like that could be easily put on by the little girl. Ventriloquists and even a magician went to visit the house to check out for any trickery and, you know, cables and things like that, and also checking if she is putting a voice on herself. And what they've actually said is the traits of this so-called entity, this ghost that she's that's speaking through her. When they're speaking to this ghost, the ghost has a habit of wanting to change the subject all the time, which is exactly what the little girl does all the time. So it's sort of their theory is it's the little girl just speaking. This isn't another personality speaking. This is her personality,
like a form of ADHD or autism.
Well, the problem is that's the problem as well with a lot of these like possessed videos from like the 70s and 80s. People didn't know what fucking mental health issues were back then. They didn't know that people were.
Well, also they were children. They were looking for attention. You know, they wanted
like
to
you
feed
and your
the
brother with
like the UFO video.
Yeah, but you say that, but don't you think it's interesting that the church, the Christian church, the Catholic Church, you know, they've got dedicated exorcists to this day. Like that's a profession, right? So don't you think it's interesting that if it was all just total rubbish, why have the Catholic Church got dedicated personnel that deal with exorcism?
But there's also people.
But the thing is, they've all proven
their religion is.
So these dedicate, you know, the church.
But I mean, you know, to dedicate resources, money, and you know, and even entertain that kind of thing. Yeah. Right. That's interesting. Like a big, powerful organisation like the Catholic Church, for them to even
investigate,
because they won't. But it makes complete sense for them to do that, because if they can prove that that's real, it also
holds weight to their religion.
Have you ever seen the film The Exorcism of Emily Rose?
Yes,
possibly.
Oh,
There's
God.
so many of these.
Do you know
films,
what? Just go back to Paranormal Experiences. That film, right? We watched that on a pirate copy.
What?
But basically, me and my mate were watching it the first time, and literally, as her face turned round and she then becomes possessed, it froze on that face, and we were just sitting there going, "What the fuck? What don't like?" We were freaked the fuck out. Like,
but there's one interesting part in that film that, going back to what you're saying about the Catholic Church, she says, and this is written. She says that when she was possessed, she saw Mary. And Mary said to her, "You can stay possessed. You can die now, and you can come with me, or you can stay possessed and prove to everyone on earth that the devil is real."
Right.
Because if you believe in one, you've got to believe in the other.
Well, yeah.
Right.
I agree with
so
that.
you can't believe that and then not believe in that. But she chose to, and that for me was chilling, because it was like, if she was possessed, that she made that choice to stay there and go, "Look, this is fucking real." And the Catholic Church, they have to, as you say, they have to put their time in going to see these things. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think it costs them money. It has to be accepted by the Pope. The Pope has to say yes.
What was that?
How did that move?
Carry on.
Paranormal experience right there, mate.
Yeah. And that's the end of the episode.
What?
That's a bit strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who was that?
Put that back. That you, was it?
Fuck off! I'm talking.
All right.
Come on.
Right, hang on a minute.
Pope.
That's thrown me. If you playing with me? Don't be messing me around. Look, anyway, the Catholic. Are you messing me around?
Mate.
Don't, because we've had these.
Kane's scared.
We've had these scare. I've had the scary experiences, like. And there's fucking string on it, you fucking assholes. Ha 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 ha. Very well done.
Wow. So that's how easy it is that, you know, things can be hoaxed. So.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, well, okay.
proof.
Well, that's it then. Thanks. Well done, everyone. Join us next week.
What did the Pope?
Fucking fake.
What did the Pope do?
Well, no, the Pope,
Except for touch loads of children.
The Pope, they have. No, what I'm saying is they have to accept it in the Catholic Church. They have to accept whether or not this case seems worthy of going. Like you've got that video there. There's another video about the Amityville Horror and a documentary. So it's a good documentary, but there's another scene, and I'll send this to you so you can you can show people. Mm-hmm. But they were taking photos in the house all day, and there was just adults in there all day taking photos. And then there was one photo of it where there was a little boy in the corner of the room. There was just a flash, and it was a specific figure, and it's just this boy peeping out. There was no kids in the house at that time during the filming, and this was the Amityville Horror House.
Was that the film? Well, the true story was based on where basically he killed his whole family in the house. Right.
It was based on that, but so that actually happened. Like he actually did kill his family, and it was known as like the Amityville Horror House. So they went in, and one of the women says that she went in there and she was putting holy water on the walls, and she says that again, it's down to personal experience of what you've experienced, but she says that when she was flicking the water on the walls, it was going tss, 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 like it was burning.
Yeah, was she flicking on a radiator?
But that's what I mean. But the photo of this little kid, I watched it. I remember watching it and shitting myself, thinking, "Fucking hell! If that is real, as I say, I've experienced the ghost, and I've experienced those footsteps." My mum, she's experienced when we used to live in a house when I was younger. She was sitting in the living room and the whole house filled up with smoke. She didn't leave, she was nothing on. She turned everything off, made sure everything off. The whole house filled with smoke, like just white smoke. She called the fire brigade, she called a neighbour first of all. A neighbour come round and said, "I don't know where it's coming from, I don't know what it is." She called the fire brigade. Before the fire brigade turned up, the smoke disappeared. All disappeared. In the same house, there was a bedroom door that would not open. It wouldn't open. So my dad's come round, he's booted it, tried to kick it, he's got his mate round, they're booting the door, and this door just will not open. Anyway, so they've left it, they've got up the next morning, the door's wide open. That's my mum's experiences that she's had. Do you know what I mean? So things like, you have to experience it to know whether or not you believe in it or not.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If you haven't experienced it, then fair enough, it's fucking bullshit, isn't it? Yeah. But if you go home tonight, you just have a booky experience, you fucking shit yourself.
I always try and make logic.
Be saying all this, they're going,
yeah, right.
We get him.
I always try, because I don't want it to be real. I always try and make logic behind it. So if I'm sitting at home on my own and something falls over or something drops off onto the floor, I'm like, right, sure, there's got to be a window open somewhere. And I'm walking around the house like that. Or maybe it was at a slant and it was slowly sliding and now it's the side of the job. I just try and find any logic possible to make it myself.
But is that because you're on your own?
Well, maybe.
Do you know what I mean?
That's the thing, but our brain can also trick us sometimes. I mean, there's the amount of times when you're a kid, when you got the lights off and you see something in your room and you think, fuck, what's that? It's like it's a fucking coat. Something like that.
Well, you three, you've all got animals, you've all got dogs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Have you never had like an experience with your pets where like the animals acting fucking weird, like starts barking at like a wall or something?
Yeah, the worst thing my dog does is when I'm sitting watching TV and her ears go up and she just stares at the kitchen. And I'm like, what are you looking at, Roxy? And she's just, her ears are up and she's like really intrigued. And I'm sort of staring in the exact same location as her. I'm like, what the fuck are you looking at, Roxy? That creeps me out.
I haven't had any, not that I can remember, but you've got kids. Yeah. Have you ever had anything with, because they say kids have...
Yeah, well, my youngest, when he was pretty young, he was probably, I guess, 2, so he was like a toddler.
Yeah.
And he, at bedtime, he'd be looking like in the corner of the room. Now, I don't know whether that's just, he's just looking at the corner of the room for nothing.
Yeah.
He's just focused on something there on the wall. But honestly, when you're in that moment, you're like, oh, that's a bit creepy. Like, what are you looking at?
Fucking terrifying.
Yeah, they can be. I mean,
kids are scary.
I haven't had this, right? But I know online you can find out like the creepiest things that kids have ever like, said to their parents. You know, and, like some of them
I read one of those ones.
are pretty like horrifying. You know, like a kid going to sleep at night and they say goodbye to a parent and say goodbye. Well, this time, mummy, it's goodbye. I mean, Jesus, how do you sleep after that?
Or like just like asleep and then you just, mummy, you open your eyes, your kid just standing right beside the bed.
I did this
Fucking
right
hate
when
that.
I was young. When I was younger, told I did this. Just got up, went into my mum and dad's room. My mum, I was just standing there, woke up. Oh my God, and I just went good night and went back to sleep.
Oh, you messed
I don't
up.
remember doing it.
That was possibly the most boring thing I've ever heard.
Imagine you just lying in bed and you wake up and your fucking kid's just there.
No, but I was expecting some fucking. You've
I started floating.
No, but you've
What you on?
No, but you've gone into your mum's room and gone in and gone, good night.
Yeah.
And then
Don't remember doing it. It's weird, isn't it?
No, I was expecting a little bit more of a story than good night. That's all.
Well, sorry.
I'm sorry for being disappointed.
Sorry, I don't make up stories like that.
Yes,
Fuck it. Mate, I mean, one time about the UFOs, but...
And what about cases of like haunted houses and hotels? I mean, there was the one in Malaga.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
Casa-
hotel. Cortijo Jurado.
yeah, I've been there.
I haven't.
I've been there.
I know. So yeah.
What do you mean? What, you've been inside it? Or?
You can
No,
do
I-
tolls, innit? Yeah, they do tolls.
Yeah, it's been like rebuilt and that, like a lot of it, because it was in ruins for a long time, for many years. But there's like a whole history behind that house. Like it was from a powerful family hundreds of years ago. Like kids in that time went missing, and it was.
And
like
apparently they were raping and.
Yeah, I mean, it was
murdering.
like a lot of stories that went around about that, and it could just be folklore.
Sorry,
Yeah.
did you just
Don't-
bring up raping again?
It's not.
Why? What is wrong with
Say that
every topic?
The next episode is going to be about rape. No, so yeah, that's
No,
right. So
yeah.
basically, it was built.
Another 3 subscribers lost.
A lot of kids were going missing, and then it's just been sat there. And the story was that the myth behind it is that because they were going to turn it into a hotel recently.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
recently,
right.
early
Last couple of
2000s.
years, yeah,
but,
over-
you know,
Stay there.
and the story was, although I was reading that it's actually bollocks, but was that when they were trying to do work on it, the machinery would just switch off, so they couldn't actually do any work on it.
Yeah, I heard that.
But when I looked into it, apparently it was just there was a whole problem with planning
Electrics.
permission and all that. No, apparently the whole electrics thing wasn't even happening.
Right.
I
It was
actually
just
heard
planning
that.
permission. They didn't have the right permission to do it. All
Well,
that
a
stuff.
couple of years ago, I went up there. My missus drove me up there. I had a brother of mine over on holiday, and his mate was here as well. And we talked about, because they like that kind of stuff as well. So we talked about the house. Anyway, they were like, we should go there. So we drove them there. Me and my missus waited in the car, because you're not actually supposed to be in that house. It's private land.
It's all
But they
right,
don't
off,
do
isn't it?
tolls around it.
I think for a while they did, but it is structurally unsafe.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so I probably like the legality of it made them stop. But anyway, so I waited outside in the car with my missus, and then my brother and his mate, they went inside, and they were in probably for about 20 minutes. And they said, it was not too bad inside. Like, it was like derelict. You could see like there's bits of floor missing, so you'd be walking along and there'd be a hole there and 2-3 stories down. So well dangerous in that. But yeah, they didn't come out saying, we felt something or saw something. They just said,
Would you? Okay, question to the table. Would you stay there on your own for one night?
Overnight?
Yeah.
On your own.
So you've got you get yourself a camera recorder. Right, you've got yourself a camcorder, you've got yourself supplies, you've got yourself a torch for the night.
I wouldn't, but not because I'm afraid of like the spirits or anything like that. I wouldn't, because usually derelict places like that invite all sorts of like weirdos there in the night time. Like, could be homeless, could be druggies, could be prostitutes, or like could be anything there, right? Could be like a drug deal there goes down, right? And you don't want to be in that situation, right? So that would be more scary.
All right, let's say it was boarded off.
Let's say it's boarded off. Let's say let's say a producer has said, right, we're going to call you.
Oh yeah, I'd do that.
You're going to go in there for the
100%.
night. Would you do that?
You see, the
On
thing
my
is,
own, yeah, I'd do that.
my I think what also
Oh,
makes
shit,
me question it all is because of these bloody the shows they used to have on TV, like
Most Haunted.
Oh,
Most
Ghost
Haunted.
Hunters and
It was
stuff.
just all bollocks. It was Derek Acorah
Yeah.
going, I'm hearing, I'm getting. Do the voice.
There you go.
You do it.
Sam, are you there? Right, I can feel something. His name's Michael Martin. I don't know what it is. It's some sort of name. But, you
Exactly.
know,
That's what it was. It was just this guy
can feel it.
who became famous just for speaking, just talking about.
Something happened in the basement.
Oh, the loft.
Oh, the loft.
Yeah.
His name was Mike. John. Paul.
It's definitely a man. It's definitely a man.
Or you
It
get
can be a woman.
yeah. Or you get these mediums, for example, who like, oh yeah, I'll tell you what happened to your wife. And I remember there was one where they did an interview. They were interviewing her, and she was like, yeah. So what do you think happened to this little girl? She's like, oh, she's dead. You know, she died. Blah blah blah. And she goes, what if I told you this little girl was me? So the person who's interviewing her,
Oh, wow.
that's me.
Well,
So
the
not really dead. Well, there was another one where basically it was like, you know, the big crowd. She sat there. She's like, my husband, and she goes, oh, your husband died. He was drowning in water. Seen loads of water. She's like, my husband died in 9/11 and burned to death. No, he died in water. He drowned. Well, he didn't. And she just kept going. It's like, no, you're wrong. He drowned.
Right, and there's a thing with that as well with mediums that and I don't agree with mediums. I think that's
it's trickery.
So what they do is before they turn up, they've got
Yeah, they have a plan.
They've got cards.
Yeah.
They've got cards that will fill in, and you'll fill them out. And go, who is it that you're looking for? And they'll write them down, and they'll say, okay, right, and just write down who is it that you're looking for, and write and keep it down. As you say, they've got people in and around them that are going around. Going, oh, I'm here. I'm here to look for my son.
Yeah. And
they'll go, oh yeah, I'm looking for my nan, and then they go backstage and go, we've got so and so that's looking for his nan, blah blah blah, and that. It's just, I don't agree with that.
Well, there was the one as well. I think it was on. It might have been on BBC. It was on one of the UK, and basically they got these 3 people in to go into a haunted factory. But basically they'd set them up because they'd put all this information on a fake website about who owned it, what had happened there, made it up completely.
Yeah.
And then
knowing people would go on the website.
and knowing that these mediums were going to go and search for this, so they've gotten there saying, "Yep, so the owner was this person. This happened." They made it up completely. None of this happened.
Just setting them up.
And every single one of them came out with the same information of what had happened. Yeah, you fucking got on Google. That's what you've done.
It's like I know I mentioned Darren Brown on another episode, but he did another thing on mediums where he followed this medium around, went to all of these things and stuff like that, and studied what he's doing. And he said it's sickening what this guy's actually doing.
It's horrible.
He's literally tricking people into for his answers to be correct.
Yeah.
So he'll go. You know, he'll come out with a. It's like that thing from Phoenix Nights. Is there a John in the audience?
Yeah, 9 of them.
And it's like, yeah, you haven't been very ill, have you? Oh no, I haven't been fine. It's Julie that's been ill. That's right, and it is terminal, isn't it? No.
Getting the word.
Yeah.
Nonsense.
I think that's so. I mean, the scariest thing that's ever happened to you, Nick, was that woman. Yeah.
That was the most scariest moment, when I really was like, what the fuck was that? Bear in mind, when we did wake up the next morning in the car, we come back out, she was gone, we went to go and investigate the scene. There was a massive human shit.
So what this was, it was some crazy looking for Frank.
Definitely a ghost that scared someone.
This just sounds like a loony that was on the side of the
It sounds like Nick's just met a crackhead, doesn't it?
Yeah. It could have very well been, but it was the shit.
Yeah, she wasn't saying Frank, she was saying crack.
Actually, saying that, I've had quite a few, but this one I'd had a smoke.
Right, well that's
right. No, I know. I'd had a smoke, right, and I was out. My mate was filming, it was like a ritual sort of thing. It was a film. It was a film based on a ritual thing. Anyway, I'd had a smoke. I went out to have a wee, and I was standing there. I was weeing, and I looked to the side, and I saw this creature that was bent over, and it was looking at me.
He was looking in the mirror.
It was this creature thing that bent over and looked at me,
right.
And I just stood there, and I was like, So I looked away, finished my piss, had a shake. zipped up,
That's
and I
right.
looked back, and it was still there, and I went, nah, fuck this. I went straight in. I got in the tent, zipped the tent up, and I went, Josh, listen, mate, there's something out there. And he went, nah, there's not. Don't worry about it. There's nothing out there. He didn't go out there and check, and I didn't move from that tent for the rest of the night. But I remember,
let's focus on the important part of the story.
I'd had a smoke.
You was high.
Yeah, I was high, but still.
Yeah, but what was it? What was it like?
It was like, it looked like a man, right? It looked like a man that was hunched over, right? And it might have been a bloke.
It could have been a poor old man that's fallen over.
We was in the wood. I can see its face now, but it's so difficult to explain.
Was it human?
It wasn't human. It looked evil, man.
Like a troll?
Yeah, it looked evil. And I remember, do you know what? I've just got goosebumps talking about it. I really have. Like, I think that was my scare. I mean,
none of us are
do you know
sleeping
what?
tonight.
I say that, to be fair. The footprint, the footsteps in the house were scary, to be fair. But that, because I was in the woods, but my excuse is I'd had a smoke. So, but it was like a skinny figure. The way I do this, it was like,
Look at those shorts.
the one time.
So it was someone squatting over
right.
shit.
It was like that, but it was looking like.
Yes, it's a creepy guy.
It was horrible. Yeah, I'm in my shorts.
Colour
But yeah,
coordination.
so I think that was terrifying. That was like that I can remember today. That's why I say gives me goosebumps. So yeah, you've never had a terrifying experience.
No. The only one I can even think of was that one, and it wasn't really scary.
It did strike me to be a bit of a believer then.
Yeah, no, I am. It's weird though because I don't believe in UFOs.
Do you believe in other things like witches and things like that?
No.
I mean, that's creepy, but again, no.
No, like the dark arts and stuff like that, and seances and stuff. I've done one. Have you ever done a seance? No. Okay, so I've done like not seance. What's the glass thing? I've done the glass.
Ouija board.
Yeah, I've done the glass, and it was, and I didn't believe in it. I was there. I find that really difficult to believe.
Because someone could just be pulling it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think my dad said he'd done one of those and said, "Oh, you should never do it." It was, and I'm like,
Well, it's
I am a
something I would
believer because
stay
I've
away from.
seen. I am a believer simply because I've had experiences. So I am a believer. But again, in my own head, I'm looking and I'm like, right, what could that have been? But then I'm like, now I know what the fuck I've seen. I know this is what I've seen, and that troll in the fucking forest was terrifying.
yeah.
You know, the footsteps were scary.
So, all right, okay, and you're afraid, aren't you?
I don't want to believe.
Right. So, what do you think's going to happen though?
Well, I just feel like it's something. I don't really know why. I think it's more because it's like if it is something, it could I think it's watching too many scary films, about demons and Insidious, and just like this.
There's some great films about it.
Yeah, but I just think I prefer, to be honest, an alien coming down from space and standing in front. I'd be happy with that. But if I would come face to face with a ghost, that would freak me out even more. So I would try to make any excuse possible that they don't exist.
Yeah, but you know who to call.
Ghostbusters.
Well, I mean, if you haven't got Bill Murray on speed dial, but what do you think would happen?
I don't know. I just feel like maybe you could get possessed or something, or you could. I don't know. Well,
That brings it again onto sort of a completely different
But
subject.
isn't possession just mental illness and schizophrenia?
Well, that's what I want to believe it is, but there's a part of me that thinks it could be something else, and I don't want to take that risk.
I
So
mean,
I'd rather
you watch these exorcism videos. A lot of them are in like South America because they're very, very religious over there, obviously. And it's just like the people are just like, it's like, what the fuck? Just.
I am a believer. Yeah, I'm a believer. Are you a believer then?
I believe in energy, and I believe that there can be positive and negative energy in areas. But like as far as like ghosts and like poltergeists, like moving shit around.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I've seen so many videos, right, and on it hundreds of them, But none of them have convinced me. None of them.
Again,
Because you always get those videos where it's a camera set up in the kitchen and the drawers fly open.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you can easily rig that. Just like the Coca-Cola.
I am the polar opposite of you, Nick, right? I want to believe.
Yeah.
I want it to be real.
Yeah.
Whereas you don't. I want it to be real.
It's like
but
my
so
mate.
far I've not seen anything.
It's one of those, like you said, unless I see it actually happen in front of my eyes, then I'm not going to believe it. And even then, that's the thing.
Once you, that's what I'm saying. It's happened to me, and I'm still, nah.
It's like my mate Alfie. He puts these paranormal things into normality more than actual normal things. Like we went into his house once, and we opened the front door, and there shouldn't have been anyone in the house, and we heard someone upstairs. He's like, get out, quick. I was like, well, no, someone's broke. He's like, quick, get out of the house.
Yeah.
So we got out of the house. I was like, why? I said, someone's breaking into your house, we need to sort this out. He goes, no, but it could be a ghost. And I'm like, my first thoughts are someone's broken into your house, not it's a fucking ghost upstairs. It was his sister in the house.
Oh, right. Good ending to that.
So yeah, but I was just like, my first thing goes straight to it's a fucking ghost.
Nick, is Alfie also a weed smoker by any chance?
No, he's not. No, he's far from that. He's just, I don't know. I think he's.
Yeah.
He believes strongly
You have
that
some
they
weird
do
mates, don't you?
Well, we've all got weird friends.
Yeah. Exactly.
Look at these guys. Right. But I don't know. Does anyone else have anything further to share about this?
I mean, no, I don't. I wish I had had like a definitive experience where I could say like this happened. I saw this. Like this is my proof to like. But I don't. Like I just.
The term you're looking for is residual. It's called residual energy.
Oh, is this one of your words of the day?
No. It's, coincidentally enough, it's taken from Derek Hikora, who I can feel the residual energy in the room. That's what the energy that you're talking about is called residual energy. And that's what those sort of orbs and things like that are.
I mean, when I was, I don't know, I was probably 14, 15 maybe, and there was an abandoned mental hospital in the town centre where I used to live, and it was massive inside, like massive, and we got in, there was a group of us that got in, and we were walking through, and it was just tramps and smackheads in there, like there was nothing like scary about it.
So where I live, the urbanisation where I live, up the road so I used to, when I was younger, this little girl used to play together, and her mum was she was an alcoholic, and she had this partner who wasn't the...
Hope she's not watching.
Probably not. And the partner actually killed the mum.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
So the daughter was in
She's
the house.
definitely not watching.
And the guy killed her.
Wow.
And it was like a big thing, obviously, because...
Yeah.
And that house has just been left. Fucking overgrown plants. And it hasn't been bought by anyone. No one will go anywhere near it. And it's like...
Well, yeah, it's the story behind it, isn't it?
Because now it's just turned into, it's the haunted house. Even though it's not.
It develops that name, doesn't it?
Yeah. But I remember finding that out and I was like, fuck. I've never known anyone that's been murdered before. You know what I mean?
Still time.
Right, I think we'll wrap it up there then. But yeah, it was a good episode. Thanks guys for watching again. And obviously this episode was suggested by a subscriber. So if you guys have any ideas, drop them in the comments. We always read the comments. So if we come across an idea that you've suggested, we'd certainly give it a thought. But yeah, thanks for watching. Subscribe, like the video, and share it to your friends.
If you've got any.
If you've got any. Thanks guys.
Cheers.
Bye.